So I'm back here at the library with Hunter and Sharky. And it was a few days ago when we did the last interview, so you can go back and watch that. Just track down my timeline a little bit. It's just a few days ago. You can go to, well, let's see, I guess you can't go to the archive, only I can do that. But just look for Hunter's first video if you want to catch up on that. I would highly recommend it. So anyway, we're back here with Hunter today. And where'd we leave off? You remember?
We were talking about the mountains. I went and I lived in the mountains for about a year, and I was talking about how there was a winter storm that hit pretty hard. There was a lot of snow, a lot of wind. It was 20 below for a good week, and I had a cabin built. I built myself a cabin, and I lived by my fire. And the thing is, when it's so freaking cold, you can't do anything except just try and keep warm.
Yeah.
Of course I was cooking, but
What were you cooking?
I had there was peppers and mushrooms, and I had meat stockpiled and stuff, and I ate lots of oatmeal. So I was cooking and everything. At the time, though, I was addicted to drugs, and so every now and then, not during that week, of course, but every now and then I would have to make the trek to town to get drugs. But it's a 3-day hike from anything that resembles civilization to where I was. So it's hardcore wilderness, 3 days is... It sounds... You could say 3 days is only 3 days. What are you talking about? Anyone who says that has never spent 3 days in the wilderness. If you go 4 days and not see a single other living soul, another living person, then you know that you could either be in for a good time, if you are prepared and know how to take care of yourself in the wilderness, hey, that's a good time to some people. To others, they're in deep shit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Anyways, yeah.
So you're up in the mountains for a year,
Yeah,
and then you got back to...
I left.
Is there anything else
Eventually.
about
I got
that you want
tired
to
of
talk
it.
about? Actually, before we move on, is there anything else you want to talk about that year? That's a long time to be up in the wilderness. And to just blow by that maybe isn't the right thing to do. So if there's anything else you want to say about that.
There was some wolves, my experiences with the wolves. Wolves they're insane, such intelligent creatures. And it makes me angry, that we hunt them. That I understand that it's important sometimes, but there's people who shoot them and leave them there just because, or if the wolf is killing your livestock, I don't know. I'm not in their position, so maybe I shouldn't talk about it, but I just can't see any reason to kill a wolf other than maybe there's too many wolves. Relocate those wolves, to where there aren't as many of them.
So you spent actually time with the wolves.
Yeah, there's moose. I got within 50 feet of a moose, and that's a frightening experience.
Yes,
I mean,
it is.
they weigh, 2,000, 2,500 pounds, and they stand 12 feet tall, and it's a big creature
Yeah, it's
to
a
be
big
face to
creature.
face with.
Yeah, so being out in the wilderness with these.
There are there are a few bears up where not up where I was, just they're within 10 square miles, like, and the territory of a bear is huge.
Yeah. Okay, so did you hunt rabbit? Did you
Oh, yeah.
kill deer?
Oh,
What
yeah.
did you do?
Rabbit stew. Rabbit stew. I didn't kill any bears while I was up there. Squirrels, chipmunks, they're easy and really kind of dumb. Some of them will outsmart you. Just the thing you gotta kick yourself. No, there's all pheasant, quail, like all kinds of. I can't even tell you how many different animals there are that one could eat. So I had meat, some deer. Ooh, I love deer, venison. But the problem is, you have to know another thing. You have to know how to take care of what you're eating, because there's a high possibility that it could turn into like poison.
Yep.
I mean, meat goes bad, food goes bad.
Did you ever bury it? Did you ever bury any meat?
Yeah. Let's see, I buried a cooler one time. There's nothing there. When I left nothing in it, but I did leave the cooler in the hole, and it was pretty simple, just to get the hole open. Even during the frost, I made it so that like there was no problem to get the hole open. I made a lid on the hole. You make a lip probably about that wide at the top of the hole, and then you have the hole in which your stuff sits, right? And then lay like plywood over it with like a rope attached. It's great. And then if you want to, you can bury the piece of wood. But I didn't have to do that. So I just covered it with branches and stuff like that. I don't know. I had a scent lock on it, so no animals messed with it.
Wow. Okay, so you spent that year up in the mountains, and then you came back. Did you come back to Salt Lake City, or what?
No,
what did you do next?
I was in Idaho. So I didn't tell you about why I came to Salt Lake. I was living with my friend and his family in Twin Falls, and I left Twin Falls because an old friend of this friend of mine who took me to their house, right? He passed away. He committed suicide. I didn't want to live at his dad's house anymore, and I left. I just it sucks to be the stranger in a house like that, especially after a death. The people who were close to that person, you know, all of a sudden I was the outsider. Like,
Yeah, I can understand that.
and I know that feeling too well, but I guess eventually there just comes a point when you have to find your change of scenery. You know? It's been a really long road.
So you left Twin Falls after all this happened. Is there anything else you want to say about that before we move on? Like, who is this?
The
Is
weather
this is
through
like
those mountains sucks.
your friend.
Sorry.
This was like a best friend of yours.
No, well, the guy who took me to their house, we were pretty close, but the guy who passed away, the guy who died, I had just met him. However, I was the first person to find him in his room.
Okay, that's what I thought you were gonna. There was something hard about that.
Yeah.
And was that it? It was extremely hard and stuck with you when you found him?
Death doesn't look the same from the time that, like, they're just laying there in their post-mortem where they fell or whatever, you know? I mean, when you see the body in the casket in the funeral home at a viewing or at the funeral, things have changed, okay? You know? They cut out the eyes. They sewed the shit shut. They put makeup on them. They dressed them in nice clothes. They cut their hair, cleaned them up, washed them, you know? Like, they look nice. So they look nice, and you know how one would want to remember them. You want to remember them like they're just sleeping, you know. But the hair's greasy. He's laying there. His hair's greasy. His skin is pale, grayish purple. His mouth is open in this silent scream. Dead, glazed over eyes.
So was that? Did you feel like that? Was
Okay, I just want to say, like, when you go to a haunted house and you see like a dead body decoration like hanging there, or like something laying on the floor, and some people are like, "Oh, it's so fake. It's so fake. That's so stupid." Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Those people are stupid, and they've never seen a body. There's a reason that, you know, people put so much time into making those. I've seen videos and watched those things being made, and there's a reason people put so much time into making some of those look so lifelike, because some of the better ones that you've seen, that's what a body looks like. That's what a dead person looks like.
Right. Yeah.
And it really makes me upset when people think they know, I guess.
Yeah.
I've had there have been three people in my life who decided that they didn't want to be here anymore, and I lost them to suicide.
To suicide. 3 people that you know. You lost them to suicide.
The guy I just told you about,
Mm-hmm.
another friend of mine who was very close to me. I shared everything with that guy. Drugs, my booze, like girlfriends. He and the other was someone I used to know that went into a bathroom one night, never came out. He just put a needle in his arm. You know, that's an old story, but
When did that happen? When did the last one happen?
2016.
Was that the one that was most impactful on you? Or was it hard to say?
No,
They all were?
maybe. It's a shock, but whatever. You know, I don't know. No, if you want to know the one that was most impactful, it was probably my friend that blew his brains out. Because these other two, like the one who went in the bathroom with the needle, and the guy that he had stuff going on, the other dude. No, my friend that put his gun up to his head, him is, I've never really had a friend quite like him, you know, and to lose him, to find out that he was gone, probably sucked the hardest. Especially since I didn't see him before he was gone.
Were you on the street then, or was that before? Or?
No, I was on the street. Yeah. We were just about constant companions.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna wind it down here. I don't want to make these too long, and I don't like to edit them because it keeps them real.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you just want to add for closing on this one?
Not all people are so different, and not all people are exactly the same either, you know. And that sounds cliche, but if we're breaking stereotypes, then you should, and it's not just going to take you and me, Jesse, it's going to take that guy and those people in the coffee shop over there, and you know, everybody, okay? But if we're breaking stereotypes, then we should start with understanding that not everybody is, you know, such shit.
Not mentally ill, they're not drug addicts, not everybody is like that. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I got a personality disorder of my own.
Yeah, so do I.
But, you know,
I don't believe in those.
and I don't really like some crazy, and I don't tolerate drugs and alcohol anymore. I just, at this stage in my life where I am, where I've climbed to, I don't feel that I should have to, but I have a temper too. You know, I don't deny that I'm not perfect or anything,
Mhm.
but if I don't know somebody, I don't feel that I should have to tolerate their bullshit. I don't know.
I think you just said how a lot of people feel. This is a very interesting thing we're going to talk
Understanding.
about. Yeah.
Just learn to understand.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
Yep. And that's what we're doing. We're creating connection, Hunter, and there's a lot of people out there that really love you that you don't even know. So we're going to keep going with this. There's Sharky right there. He's done his part today. He didn't have to sit there and lay there and be quiet, but he did. He's a good dude.
He's
Alright.
tired.
Yeah, he is. Okay, thanks, Hunter. We're going to end off here at 21 minutes. Okay, see you.